Hello, I'm Derek John Johnson. Today's video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about why I think trans people ally with TERFs. Well, some trans people. And when I say ally with, I mean basically regurgitating their talking points or making content that specifically caters towards the TERFs worldview. I'm going to be using a few examples, such as Blaire White, Rose of Dawn, Buck Angel, and Calvin Guerra. First, I'll go with Blaire White. Those of you who do not know, basically, she is a trans YouTuber who basically built her entire career off of bullying non-binary people and being pretty much one of the worst people on a sheer human level on this site. She'll constantly push things about trans agendas and trans predators. Now, to be fair, she has busted a few actual predators like Jessica Yaniv and Onision. But that doesn't change the fact that she's lied about people who were specifically trans or LGBTQ+, simply to make them look bad and make them look like predators. That she's constantly tried to make non-binary people look not valid or like they're not one of her type of trans, part of her trans community. Which is fucking bullshit. Buck Angel. For those of you who do not know, he is a former adult film actor and a trans activist and sex-positive activist. However, he's also been known for shitting on non-binary and other trans people, and even helped pen a letter called Trans Men I Fight Back, I believe. Basically, the letter's just transphobic bullshit about how trans women aren't real women. They're just mostly perverted males taking over the trans community from us. Sound similar, because that's pretty much the same logic TERFs will use for trans women. That all trans women are just perverted men fighting to take away the community from the good, pure-hearted, real woman. He's also advocated for trans exclusionary female-only spaces, which is a big TERF talking point. It's one of their main goals they want. And honestly, there's a lot I can go into with him, but yeah, he's basically a big piece of shit. Calvin Guerra. He was a former YouTuber, trans man. Basically, he's the male Blaire White. Oh, he also drove people to attempt suicide and laughed about it. And tried to get people off their disability, but Cop St. Mo already has a pretty good video going over him. So basically, I'm just gonna repeat the same thing. Again, pretty much repeats TERFs talking points and makes content that, TERFs would love because it basically calls out those mean trans trenders and talks about how they're corrupting your youth. Then we get to Rose of Dawn. Her entire clientele is pretty much like 99% gender critical people. And she very much makes nothing but videos shitting on other trans people and talking about trans predators. Now that I've gotten through that overly long shit, I can get into the actual meat. Honestly, I'm not a psychologist, but what I get when I look at people like Buck Angel, Calvin Guerra, and Blaire White is that they're insecure and just desperate for any form of acceptance. So they basically tell transphobes what they want to hear because they hope deep in their heart, deep in some recess of their mind, that means they'll be accepted, that they'll be loved by them. I mean, they pretty much seem to have that typical high school bully mentality. A mentality that I myself used to have. And I also don't think that people like Calvin Guerra or Buck Angel or Blaire White realize TERFs don't accept you. They never will. They may tolerate you for a little bit as long as you're a useful tool to their agenda, but the second, and I mean the exact second, you stop being useful, if you're a trans woman, you're not only losing your rights, you're probably being executed along with the other ones. And you may be asking, well, don't you think you're kind of reaching? TERFs have literally advocated for genocide of cis men for years and have pretty much said that they see trans women as cis men and constantly talk about how much they hate and how evil trans women are. Is it really that much of a stretch to think they wouldn't stop at physically offing them to get rid of them? And here's the thing. TERFs can't accept trans people as long as they're not in TERF ideology. You see, TERFs' entire ideology revolves around hatred and genocide. They hate trans women so much, they'll even freak out on cis women and call them trans predators simply for looking kinda manny in their eyes. It's not really much of a stretch to say they don't like you and they never truly will. As for trans men, the best you can hope for from TERFs is that they'll basically just force you to detransition and live your life as a woman. Hell, they think of you only as lesbians that were stolen from them. You have so little self-respect that you're just willing to work with people who won't even see you as your true gender just because they're so fucking obsessed with real women being turned away from them. Here's the thing, as somebody who was raised in a transphobic house myself, I kinda get it. It really sucks. You just desperately want to know that somebody actually cares for you and accepts you, but selling your soul and basically just telling TERFs what they want to hear, it's not the way to do it. TERFs are blinded by their cold, bitter hatred of trans people, of cis men and cis men, and their desire to strip rights away from trans women and essentially genocide trans people. Don't just tell them what they want to hear or ally yourself with them. It won't work. And here's the thing, there are people out there that'll accept you for who you are. Well, for being trans. You don't have to sell the community out just to get some fake acceptance from somebody who's barely pretending to tolerate you because you're a useful idiot to them. What's the video for today? Bye.